Yeah, another little short video. This is about these little lightning to USB cables. I've got a couple of these sitting around which are broken. They inevitably break, but the cables themselves look fine. I've got two cables. I've got this little short one here. Unfortunately the camera's a bit close, but this is about 1 meter. I've got another one here which is a different brand. Is it PQI? I don't know what the stains come from. It didn't used to be there. Might be coffee. I'll explain why in a second. Yeah, PQI. Here we go. All right. PQI brand. This is actually a really nice cable, nice flexible. Unfortunately, what's happened to this one here, because it gets kinked over here, with like resting your phone on yourself in bed and looking at it. This is actually was my wife's cable until it failed. There's a dodgy, I think that's broken just in there. It feels really loose, so I think the cables are gone there. So what I'm going to do is cut them open and have a look, and maybe repair them. Maybe not. I just thought I'd be a little interesting videos and messing around with these things. This one here, interestingly, instead of being this end which has failed, it's this end which has failed. So if I wiggle it around, it actually comes right. So, and this is another little cheap Chinese cable, you know they all are really. But I'm going to have a go open this up as well and see if I can repair this one. It might be pretty simple. These lightning plug ones, they tend to be quite hard because it's all sealed in there quite well, but this might not be too bad to get into, so we'll give this a go. Let's get out a nice dangerous implement. Right, let's see if I can do this without cutting my fingers off. Probably leave the plug a bit ugly, but come on, I'm hoping it will just pop off. But I'm actually doing this through the camera, so hopefully I don't slip and injure myself horribly with this incredibly dangerous implement. But probably alright. Oh, here we go. Oh, we've got some movement. Cool. Looks like it might be on the sides. There we go. We're in. We are in. Right, and sure enough, 2 wires broken off. There we go. Strain relief is obviously not actually relieving the strain properly because it's still pulling on the wires. Awesome job. Now, so what I'll do is I'll look at it's actually nice. So it looks like black as the outer, green as the inner. Let's see. So we got. Fortunately, lighting's not great here, man. Yeah, let's try and move it this way a bit, mate. Let's do this. Yeah, it's better. Alright, so we've got red. Oh, see. Yeah, plugs upside down. If it's that way up, it'll be right. But anyway, plugs upside down. So red, white, green, black appears to be the sequence. So cool. So what I'll do is I'll try and get this little strain relief pushed back to actually take the strain off these cables. Cut all those off and reapply them. And probably put some kind of sealant in there to take the stress off the actual connections of the wires themselves, which is the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, yeah, not too bad. This should be pretty easy. So I'll come back to that one shortly. Okay, so this one is likely to be a bit more challenging. That looks like, I mean, that's moulded one piece. Oh, sorry, get it in the camera. That's one piece. So it's probably over moulded. It feels, it's fairly flexible stuff there, but it's solid here, so there must be a plastic insert that's going around. Oh my god, this is good getting the camera. Right, so I'll start looking at the cameras to do the actual thing. Okay. So it's really flexible here and soft, and up here it gets quite hard. So there must be a plastic piece in here which is over moulded. But I actually injection mold around the actual fitting. Yeah, and because that cable's ballooned out here, might be a bit tricky to get that slid off. Well, here we go. Let's see if I can do this. What we got? There we go. Yes, that is popping off a little bit there. Yeah. Oh, well, here we go. It's not looking likely to slide though, but it has. I might have to get some pliers. Give me a second. I need to grab hold of this, hopefully without breaking it, at the same time as I'm trying to pull this collar back. Let's see if I can do this. It's a bit tricky to do from behind the camera, of course. The camera's kind of in the way. No, it hasn't moved at all. Okay, screwdriver. Obviously these are never made to come apart again. So let's just try and get this to pop out a little bit. It's a bit like trying to look at a mirror while you do it. It's pretty hard actually. Anyway, try and get this to slip down, but I think it probably is over moulded. It could be slipped on, but I've loosened up a little bit around there. But I'm mindful of any wires in there. I don't want to rip off anything which is still attached, because otherwise I won't have a clue what pins they go to. Alright, so let's just try and work it back. I'm lucky I'll be able to get it back, but so far, it's not looking good. It hasn't moved at all. Okay, back to the pliers. Yeah, these aren't very good for this, I don't think. I'm trying not to damage it at the same time is the problem. Yeah, it's not really, it's only gripping on one side. So, try and get this pushed back. This is probably not a particularly thrilling video actually right now, so I might have to stop this and come back to it. So you get the idea what I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm going to stop this and come back. Okay, so I ended up cutting this boot off because I just couldn't get it to slide back. And by the looks of it, it is over moulded. It's got little grooves and stuff in it, so that's been moulded over the top. That's why it's so hard to get it off. And this is what's inside. So that actually looks quite nice. It looks like it's quite well made. It actually looks better than the Apple ones, to be honest. Obviously it's just because the cable's been stressed too much, that's why it's failed. So I'm going to have to see if I can get into this and get that sorted out. Look how small that is though, look at that. Yeah, there's a little clip-on cap over the top, see that? There's little holders on the side, so this clips off. Pop this off if we can. Get the screwdriver in it. I'll drop it on the floor first. Right. Doesn't want to release. Has that been crimped on too? I'm just going to look at this side of the camera so I can see better. Oh, okay, it's crimped on as well. Okay, it's inside the crimp as well. So it's actually been quite nicely done. So let's just pop this there's a little crimped section in there. Let's try and pop that out. Okay. Try and pop this off here. Well, there we go, it's starting to move. Not quite sure if that's been in. That's just a plastic insert, whether it's actually moulded in as well. It seems to be held at this end somehow. Can't see how yet, so let's just fold that out of the way. Right, there's a circuit board. That is, yeah, that's a, okay, that's filled in there. So circuit board in there, you can just see a couple of devices. You can see a resistor or something just there. That's been filled. This is going to be tricky. Yes, okay, I might come back to this. Okay, yes, excuse the noise, my hot air guns, well, hot air workstation's just cooling down. This connector is full of hot snot, so the hot melt glue. So I've had to try and pick that off. And so the bit we first saw looking at the top was this part. That's actually just the circuit board side. The actual connections are underneath, under there. So now I've got to those. It goes black, white, green, red. Looks like black is actually shielded with a little sleeve over it. Now I can see what those are. I can actually desolder that, cut this wire back, reattach it, and put it all back together again. So things are looking pretty promising there. I might be able to repair this cable. Okay, so let's try and look at this. Here we go, focused. Right. Let's see if I can get these wires off nicely or not. I'm hoping I should be able to do it pretty easily with this. Oh, this iron is clean. I haven't used it in a little while. Right. They should just come straight off, I'd imagine. I mean, there's still some residue from that hot melt glue there, so that might cause me some problems. Come on. Yeah, it's getting in the way of that. Here we go. Right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. So there's a hot melt glue residue everywhere too, so I'm just trying to clean those up a bit. This is a big chunky solder. Look at the size of this compared to the tabs, to the pads. But it's got really good flux in it. It works really well. It's really good at cleaning stuff up and adhering, so I don't mind using a bit of that for this. There we go. Right, that should be all that hot melt glue off there now. So all I've got to do now is get this end of the cable and do the wires on it and reattach it all. We can get that to focus. Maybe. Come on. I'm trying to do this on my phone. It's not the best device for doing this kind of work. Come on. As AV says, focus your fag. Anyway, yeah, it's not great. Anyway, well, I'll strip this wire off and come back when I'm ready to put it back on. Okay, so I'll just strip the outer off. I had this aluminium foil wrapped around the outside overall, and inside it's got a thread there, and it's got multiple shields. So, come on, focus. Focus, right. So it's obviously the white, green, and red, and it's got a big thick shield here, which is around the outside with the aluminium, and it's got several smaller, well, it's got 3 or 4 smaller shields inside as well, which go along with the other strands. So here you go, there's one there, another one there, right. And I think there's one actually tangled up in this as well, a little bit in there too. So there you go. So they're actually quite nice cables, really. The actual conductors here are fairly stiff. They're quite stiff wires, almost like the solid core. Maybe this one's solid core, not sure. But yeah, that's what the inside looks like. So I mean, the actual PQE connector on here is a really nice plug, and it's been really well made. I mean, I quite like it. So I think the brand is good. It's just that the cable's been stressed. So right, I'll carry on with this. Okay, I've got those stripped. I've got the outer insulation stripped off. Let's just tin these wires, and I shall look at putting them onto the circuit board in a second. These are probably way too long, but to be honest, I'm not actually worried about that. I'd rather have a bit of length on there and keep them well clear of the board. Can't really see what I'm doing very well here. Yeah, these are probably way too long, but I'm going to heat shrink it all and everything anyway, so I'm going to strain relief for heat shrink and do that. It's going to be, you know, obviously it's not going to be as nice as the original strain relief, but it will work. Okay, so that's that tinned. Now this this thick shield here I'm going to leave on the outside like that. That'll crimp on to the little crimp section of the connector. I've got the little inner shield here, which is solders onto the left pin, and I've got the white and green which go in the middle, and the red on the right. I have to go back and check my video. I think it was shield white, green, red from memory, but I might be wrong, so I'm going to go back and double check that. Once I've done that, I'll come back and I'll slip some heat shrink over this before I solder it all onto the connector, otherwise I won't be able to get it on, and for strain relief and stuff, and then I'll come back. Okay, I went back and just double checked the connections, and I was right what I remembered. So these are the sequence I got to go back on it. So I've put a little bit of heat shrink around this shield here just to avoid any potential shorts and stuff like that. So I'm going to go through and reattach all these, and straighten this wire up here. Slightly crooked. Heavy on crooked is not going to help getting them on. And right, so let's attach these. Again, I'm trying to do this is really tiny stuff. I mean, this is my soldering iron. This is quite a small tip, but it's not that small, but it's fairly small. So let's just try and get this thing on. The problem is a little tab on the side there is in the way. So's my finger. Ouch. Anyway, right. So I might have to get tweezers for this actually. So I'll move these around, right? Because those wires just moved around. Hold on a second. Actually, I had a bit of trouble trying to get my phone to focus on this because I've got it zoomed in, and it didn't like to focus when it's zoomed in like that. It's a bit wonky. Come on. Needs to be straight, otherwise I won't get it on right. Let's just try and straighten this up. It's a little bit fiddly, obviously. Because if I don't get it quite right, it will end up bridging over because the actual pads are quite small. And it's not like I've got a microscope or anything like that to do this, so alright, let's stick that on there like that, hopefully. Okay, that appears to be on. This isn't going to be great soldering, I'm afraid. I don't normally do stuff that's this small. And this awkward really, it's more of this awkward really. I've done stuff that's small before, but it's just a bit fiddly with the wires moving around. Once I've got them all on there, they'll kind of support each other, and hopefully I can then go back and tidy them up a little bit more. them all nice and decent solder. Right, set it on at least. That's the first part. Let's just go through and just touch a bit of fresh solder on there, and hopefully that will fall off. The green one's the one I'm mainly worried about, just there. That's better. I need a little bit too much. That's what I thought would happen. Right. Yes, the white one's looking good now, but the green's still a bit of pain. There we go, it's getting there. Okay, let's retouch the red one, I think. We'll get there. Patience these days. You need a lot more patience with things working on gear these days than you used to need, because things are so fiddly now compared to what they used to be. You could just slop a part on and slop a wire in and be done. Now it's a bit more precise, and so you have to be a little bit more careful. It's one of these things anyway. Thankfully I can be quite a patient person at times, not always. Yeah, good enough. Alright, I think they're on well enough. I'm happy with that. Well, happy enough with that. It's not perfect, but it will do the job, hopefully. So now I'm just going to go and try that before I put it all back together and see if it actually works. No, it's okay. It's not actually blood. It's just this liquid electrical tape that I use on things. So I've not crimped it yet. I've just filled that up with electrical tape, folded it back down again, and hopefully it doesn't short out. I shall probably check the connectivity between the pins just to be absolutely sure. So I've got to crimp that yet and just slide that in bed better. But yeah, that's what I showed out a bit. Yeah, it's not blood. I haven't actually tried it yet because I couldn't get it into the plug, so I've had to fold it back down and do that. It's likely to work. Okay, well the first cable I did was a failure. When I reassembled it, it looked like a couple of pads came off the board when I was trying to position it all, so that's ended up playing up. So that didn't work. That's a shame. Anyway, so that's gone in the bin. This one here, which had the broken wires off, so I've just cut it off, moved the plug, which is sitting here, and strip that back. Already tin the wires. It goes unlike the other cable where it went black, white, green, red. Now this one goes black, green, white, red. So I've just got to bend these around to get in the right sequence. And at least this is a nice big plug, so it should be nice and easy to do. Let's just put some fresh solder on here and actually try and get it to actually look at the thing I'm looking at. Come on, here. There we go. Right, I'm working quite close, and this doesn't work close very well, so a bit of fresh solder in there, it's a bit of a mess, but yeah. I'm not worried about flux build up. I'm not going to bother cleaning it off. These things don't last that long anyway. It's not like it's got to last 10 years. So, black, green, come on white, get out of there, white, and then red. Come on, get on. So, good enough. It's not great. Like I said, it isn't going to last anyway, because these things never last. The cables always end up going. So, they're on there. So, let's cover back on. I zoomed out? Yes, I am. Got that little relief strain there. It wouldn't slide back, so I had to cut it, unfortunately. Anyway, also a bit of glue behind it or something. So I shall look at securing that in a nice way. Actually, I'll go away and do that now. Okay, so I've glued that on with a bit of super glue. Which I need to make sure I don't forget about, otherwise it'll dry out. So that's much further back than it was before. I've done it on purpose so that it's actually pushing on this relief, not on the wires. So the wires aren't getting pulled at all. So now I'll slide that down, see how much it's got to come forward by. So it's got to bend those wires, and I'll just push it down. I'm just going to take off this bit of foil here in case that touches something, and I'll come back. Okay, so foil trimmed back. What I'm going to do, because I've stressed this, getting this little cover back off, it's no longer a good fit like it used to be. What I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on it just to help hold it. I might actually try and straighten these bits back out again. I'll do that first actually. See if I can just, where I've stressed the case, you see it's slightly bowed out and stuff like that, we've been levering it off. Just trying to bend them back a bit to make it look a little bit nicer. You know, it will go back to a point. If I heat this up, actually, it'll probably relax back and go back to its original shape. But I don't want to risk doing that in case it chars instead. So, put a little bit of glue on here, just to hold it. Don't want to be revisiting this thing. I mean, I'm confident this will work, so I'm just going to go straight ahead and do it. I was a bit unlucky with the other one. Again, these are only little chip cables. I mean, you can get them for a few dollars now. They're getting pretty cheap, so I'm not really too worried about not having them work. Symbol should be on the top. That's correct. Slide that in there. Right, that's in. Leave that dry. And hopefully that's that cable fixed.